delighted to welcome my client Donna today for her testimonial video. So Donna, tell me then, what were you struggling with before coming on the Momentum Energy Transformation Program?
In general, probably everything really. Fitness was shocking, eating was absolutely terrible. Probably thinking I was eating fairly reasonably well, but realising that I actually wasn't. Eating the biggest load of crap of the day, and which obviously over the years has affected my overall fitness. Yeah, just struggled with it in general. And then I used to go through these phases where, yeah, I'd be all sort of healthy and stuff, and or think I'm being healthy, go back into fitness, but then clearly just completely doing it all the wrong way. And it never helped me. So yeah, struggled big time, and which resulted in me sort of picking up injuries and stuff like that as well. So which put me back every time. And then over, I would probably say the past sort of 4 or 5 years maybe, gradually just putting on weight, putting on the pounds. Not a massive amount at one time, if that makes sense, but just slowly over that time, then eventually it just creeped on and creeped on and creeped on. So yeah, that's basically what I've struggled with, just not being able to get any sort of motivation or momentum with, you know, my overall trying to stay sort of fit and healthy, I suppose, really, which resulted in, again, the weight gain and yeah, getting injuries, then not being able to do anything. So
okay, so what had you tried to fix? Like, what you were mentioning about doing, like you would start, you would stop, you would start, you would stop. Tell me more about that.
Over the years, I mean, I couldn't even tell you how far back. Many years ago, I actually done I think it was Scottish Swimmers, I think it was at the time, and I'm going back maybe 13 years. Prior to that, I hadn't really bothered about my weight. I felt fine, but I joined the police, and I thought, oh, felt a bit sort of unfit at stages, and I stuck at that, and I did lose weight, and I felt really good. But after I got to like my target weight, I then didn't maintain any sort of. I didn't change my lifestyle basically, so I didn't maintain anything. And then through time, you know, the weight creeps on, you get less active, that sort of thing, and then on and off throughout the sort of years from then up until last year, I done Slimming World for a very short time. Didn't work well, you know. Due to me not changing as well, due to me not changing my lifestyle and things like that as well, I think was a massive contributing factor. And then I actually done the herbal life thing for a bit, and that was quite good for a short while again, but I didn't stick at it, I didn't change my lifestyle, and I just went back to how I was before. So yeah, and then in between all that, I would just go, right, Donna, we're going to start eating healthy, so I would prepare good meals and stuff like that. And then it would work for a short time, but again, I wouldn't change my lifestyle really, and I wouldn't maintain it, and I didn't have any consistency with it really. So then I would just go back onto this wagon, up and down, up and down. So yeah. So
you were struggling with the nutrition then, so
yeah,
quite considerably then. What about in terms of the exercise then? What would you do with that? What was your kind of cycle before that?
Well, you could answer that question for me. I've always been fairly active my whole life. I was in the army, I joined the police, so that activity thing has always been there for me.
Yeah.
But the problem was I wasn't consistent with it. I didn't do it properly, so then I would go through phases of just not exercising for months and months and months, and then I had to then start doing a fitness test every year for work. And then it was like, oh, and then coming to that time, I would panic and I'd go to the gym and I would just hammer it, which was really stupid because it didn't help me. I would pick up injuries. So my fitness would just be basically up and down. And again, I would, a bit like my healthy eating, I would go through phases of let's do some exercise. And I always used to take my bike out every now and again. I'd go and play a game of badminton. I'd then start coming to the gym, but again, I wasn't consistent with it, and I would just do it for a short period of time and just thinking if I hammer this, I'll be fine. And then I'll get myself through my fitness test, then I'll just be lazy for the rest of the year. And then I get to the end of the year, then I'll be back in this cycle again where I think, oh, panicking about the fitness test, and then I'm back in the gym and I'm just, being stupid basically because thinking that would work. And I suppose it did because it got me through my fitness test, but long term, no, it wasn't, because then I'd end up picking up injuries again. Then, because I would do the fitness, pick up injuries, then I would do nothing after I'd done my test. So yeah, really up and down with exercise, and again, not consistent. And because of that, obviously, over the years I have put on the pounds. It's made it a lot more difficult as well, and harder throughout that time as well. So yeah.
Okay, so obviously you've told me your story and stuff like that as well, and you were kind of in the military, and I know you were really super fit and kind of in your younger days, you know, in your kind of 20s and stuff. Then you kind of joined the police. How did that change for you then, in terms of, because obviously you've been so used to keeping fit all your life, you know, probably fit in a different kind of way, if you know what I mean. You were always probably like military fit, police fit, if you're out on the beat, etc. You're moving. How did that change for you? Yeah.
Well, when I joined the police, I was actually, I mean, obviously, you know, I had to go away and do 15 weeks training. So, and in that, you had a lot of fitness, you had fitness tests you had to pass. And I'd done all that and I passed everything. And then it was sort of after a year, that's when I sort of done the Scottish Slimmers thing, because I felt, you know, feel as if I'm putting on a few pounds. And then from there, I was fairly active in the sense that I was always out in the beat and stuff, so I was always walking, doing a lot of walking, so that was really good for me. And then sort of 8 years ago, I actually changed my role in the police, so I went over into sort of CID side. And that primarily is then a more sit-down job, because, you know, everything you do, you're sitting, you're in the office, you're doing paperwork, you go in your car. And then for me, that was, I think, was probably a massive turning point for me in terms of my health, my fitness, having problems with my back, all this sort of thing, because I went from being reasonably active to then just sitting too much, basically. And then, you know, in turn with that, with the job as well, because you do shift work and you sometimes, you know, you do eat at different times, which is, you know, here or there, but it's sometimes you were just picking on the run, so you were just grabbing crap, and if you weren't prepared with stuff, you would even eat more rubbish, that type of thing. So yeah, I think over the years, it's a gradual build-up, I think, you know, in terms of that. So yeah, it's had a big effect. Changing my job roles had a big effect as well. Definitely 100%.
So you kind of went through like your 20s and 30s quite kind of like fit, you know, keeping quite active. Then your job role changed and become more sedentary. So this will probably resonate with a lot of people watching this video today, you know, in terms of then having that sedentary. So you were cycling. So tell me about your back then. Tell me what more about that, yeah.
Well, on and off, after I'd been in the job probably maybe 2-3 years, I actually started having issues with my back back then, but we reckon that was due to the, you know, the kit and stuff you wear. So you wear your stab vest, hack vest, belt, and it is quite heavy. So that started having a knock-on effect just to my muscle in my back and things. So I got physio and things, and you know, it was fine. You know, I was able to manage it. But this was on and off throughout the years, and then last year was a big turning point for me, because I ended up, again, I was going through one of these phases where, yeah, let's go and do fitness classes. So I'm jumping around, I'm doing all this exercise, thinking it's doing good. Whereas in actual fact, it didn't. And basically, the end of August last year, I got to a stage where I couldn't walk properly. Wow. I couldn't dress myself. I couldn't drive my car. I didn't drive for like 12 weeks. I was off my work. Wow. And it turned out that I had sciatica, and then I got an MRI scan which showed that I had like a bulging disc right at the base of my back, and it was pressing onto my S1 root nerve, which was in turn causing this pain that I have never felt in my whole life. Wow. Out of certain injuries and stuff I've had, it was horrendous. I mean, I was in tears with it, literally. I mean, you know, I was 42, well, I'm older, about 42, was I 41 last year? Can't remember, get too old. 41-year-old, and I was having to get someone to help me dress. I mean, that's how bad the sciatica was. So yeah, and that was a real struggle. And I'm still struggling with it today, but you know, it's nowhere near as bad, and you know, I'm getting so much better with it. But yeah, and for me, that was like, this is just ridiculous, you know, and I couldn't go back to that again, basically, you know, it was just horrendous.
So what was different about this approach that we've taken then? What was different about us that's helped you kind of get back onto your feet and you're back working and stuff like that again, and you're losing weight, you're getting fitter, you're getting, yeah, tell me more about that. Yeah, what's different about this?
I think it's the consistency of it. I think, like, you know, in terms of me myself, when I think, oh yeah, I'm eating healthily, actually I wasn't, because now I've now realised that I had so much sugar in my diet, which was absolutely shocking. Even thinking that I was eating healthily, so I've made a lot of changes in that respect as well. And also, for me as well, big thing, consistency with the fitness side of it. So obviously I've had to do a lot of rehab since August last year. I've had a lot of treatments. You know, I've been to a treatment centre through my job and stuff like that. So, and since then, I've been building on that. So obviously with your help in terms of the fitness side, and just realising that I don't have to like go like a complete idiot to try and sort of better myself in the fitness department. I've realised that I can just do things, start off very gentle and build up, and it has made a huge difference to me completely, and especially with the rehabilitation side as well, because for me as well, the strengthening side was really, really important and continues to be. So yeah, it's just the understanding of the cutting out a lot of sugar, your 5 eating points as well was actually really good, and making healthier choices. Really, that's overall, I think, for me has been the biggest thing, and the fitness side, massive thing for me, because I do feel more consistent. I'm feeling stronger because of it. I'm not getting the same soreness and pains through like my back and my muscles as I would normally get. So yeah, massive difference, and all down to the consistency, I think, and being consistent and sticking at it and being planned, like sort of prepared, I suppose, and planning is a big thing as well.
And that not going from the zero to hero again, you know, going
exactly.
gradually, but knowing that you don't have to smash yourself to get the results that you want, you know.
No. Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to anybody that's like watching this and that's got, you know, because I mean, your back pain, you know, it was quite serious, you know.
Oh yeah, it is, and you know, it's. I mean, there's no way that I could ever go back to how I was last year, and this is the thing for me. And now I still have a lot of nerve irritation through my left side, and this is what's bothering me now. Although I think it is gradually getting better. I may have to get an operation. I don't know yet. I need to go and see a specialist. But you know, I'm back doing sort of my shuttle runs. I'm back on the bike. I'm doing the sort of the home workouts for my strength, and I'm doing all my rehabilitation, and it's all gradually becoming so much easier. But yeah, the severity with my back was just, you know, like I said, I couldn't walk. I couldn't even dress myself. That's how bad I was with it.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, if anybody's, you know, thinking about doing it, 100% do it. I mean, it's fitness, not just fitness wise, health, fitness, just overall, to just change yourself and your mindset as well. It's 100% worth it, definitely.
Well, so I mean, that's amazing. Tell me more about your results then. What have you achieved? I mean, you've talked about being stronger, fitter, your actual back health's improved, and okay, you might have to go for an operation, but you're in a better position now than where you would be having not done anything. So there's a lot of people that sit on the fence and are kind of like saying, oh, I've got a bad back, I'll wait till my back gets better.
Which is not going to happen. Not going to happen. I mean, the worst thing, and don't get me wrong, I mean, I certainly at the beginning, I literally was lying about, because I couldn't do anything else. I was that bad with it. And, you know, through physiotherapy and through my own sort of perseverance, I did start to come through it slightly. And then obviously then going on board with yourself is, you know, helped me tenfold. And I think, and I now know the worst thing you can do is sit on your backside and do nothing. Yeah. Even if you're just doing the slightest thing, it 100% helps you, definitely. And I think that I may have got there with my back to a better place, but if I didn't come on this program with yourself, I wouldn't be anywhere near that just now. You know, I sort of wholly believe that. And the strengthening side of it, and just being more positive about it and keeping myself more active has definitely helped. I mean, I do have the sort of my off days, and I do have slight flare-ups now, which is, you know, I could have that for up to a year, if not longer. But when I do have days, I just need to take a step back and just like maybe just have a day or two where I'm taking it a little bit easier. Because again, I've learned you don't have to, like, you know, go from zero to hero to, you know, and you've got to listen to your body 100%. However, sitting on your backside is the worst thing to do, and I'm living proof of that, and there's probably a lot of other people out there who are as well, in terms of certain injuries and stuff. Be more positive, get off your butt, and actually just do stuff, but do it properly. And if you need to get the help to do that, do it, you know, 100%.
Great. So what is your weight loss? What's changed in terms of weight loss, shape, physique, that kind of stuff? Body confidence?
So I've
etc.?
lost just under, I think I'm 16.5 pounds I've lost since I was just over a stone, which is really, really good. I've actually not been in my work trousers since August last year because obviously, I've been off in this. I was off in the site, but I'm back. But because of everything that's going on, I've not actually been in my suit again. So I actually tried my trousers on the other week, and I was like, oh my god, they were so loose and baggy on me. And for me, that's a massive thing. I've lost my love handles at the back. I can actually think my butt and my legs are getting slimmer, which Excellent. I've never, I've always had an issue there, which probably a lot of people do or think they do. So yes, definitely changing physique-wise. I can see a big difference to myself, especially when I do the progress photos, because sometimes you sit and you look at yourself and you think, oh, I don't see much of a difference. But when you actually look at the photos, definitely. And people as well mentioning it, saying to me, oh, you're looking really well, Donna, and stuff like that, which is really, really good. So yeah, overall changed. I can tell that I'm changing. I'm definitely losing the weight. And more importantly for me, as I'm getting fitter and stronger and healthier, that overall is the biggest thing for me. And in turn, I'm losing the weight, which is magic. But yeah.
It's something. We'll finish up in a second. You've done really brilliant. Thank you for the testimonial. In terms of the weight, 16 pounds is awesome, and I think that a lot of people compare themselves to other people and other people's targets, and I've got people on the program that can lose up to 30 pounds, but I think everybody's got different start points, and this is what I like to say to people: is that your start point was your back. We've rehabilitated you, we've got you fitter, we've got you healthier, and you've got the gain of losing the weight. And it's not all about speed of doing that.
No, 100%. And that's the one thing I've learned. I think you and I discussed that in the past. That's been my downfall, because when I try and be fitter or try and be healthier and be good and whatever, and try and change things, and it never worked quick enough for me. I'd be like, oh, sod it, and I'm not even going to bother now because there's no point. However, there is a massive point, because for me, I think I'm losing it slowly, gradually, but over a longer time, which for me I think is really good, which I've learned. So I've learned not to get frustrated by that and not just to go, so that I'm not doing it, because ultimately for me it is about the health and the fitness, and overall, and mentally as well, not just physically, is a big thing. And so, and with that, the weight will come off gradually. And like you say, everybody's different, everybody's body's different, everybody's goals are different. And people can lose weight or will lose weight a lot quicker than some others. But even if you're not losing it that quickly, don't give up with it, because it does work 100%. Whereas before, the old Donna, I would have flung the towel in probably a few weeks back. But if not before that, because that's what I was like. But you've got to have the correct mindset and depending on your goals as well. So
that's perfect. Yeah, no, thanks very much for that, Donna. Perfect, absolutely brilliant.